Hey guys, this is Nick here, and this is your next gaming news. I know I kind of missed one last week. I kind of ran out of time, and I didn't have enough news soon enough to really put anything out effectively. So we're going to try to make up for it this week with a little bit longer segment. The first thing that I'd like to go ahead and go into is that EA has announced their own streaming venue for June 11th. So that makes 3 now between IGN, GameStop, and EA having their own. They're going to be out there in the market. Now, EA's is going to be solely focused on their games and their games only. For my money, I think you're probably better off watching the IGN one and the GameSpot one of those two, if not both. And then catch what you can out of the EA one because they do have a few franchises that everybody's interested in. However, if you're more into sports games, you may want to lean more towards the EA one because you're probably going to get better coverage that way. Now, the next thing that came out is that for the foreseeable future, the remainder of this year at least, Xbox has announced their 2020 segment where they're going to be coming onto their YouTube channel and streaming about their games for the remainder of the year, basically to kind of cover bases during the whole mess that we're all kind of involved in and while we're all kind of stuck at home more often than not. So that will give people more insight into what's going on their platform for the remainder of the year. The next thing to happen is the Xbox Livestream event happened where they were going to show gameplay, and it was all touted up that they're going to show all the games and you were going to get a much bigger breadth of all the new IPs and everything like that were coming out. Now, that kind of came and went with a big meh and mostly annoyance from most of the population on the internet, primarily because it was mostly a lot more trailers. They did announce a lot of games. It looks like there's a lot of new cool IPs that are going to come out on the platform, but they may not be indicative to just that platform. They're just going to be nice next-gen IPs that are going to come out. Now, some of the more notable ones that actually looked like they had more gameplay were like Dirt 5, Call to the Sea, and Bright Memory Infinite. Bright Memory Infinite stood out the most out of those as the one that was showing some of the smoothest gameplay and some of the most detailed graphics out of those. Dirt kind of mixed in things between trailer and looking like live gameplay as you were kind of going through the tracks. Call to the Sea had a couple segments where it looked like you were exploring some caverns and kind of swimming underneath the water and stuff like that. All those looked pretty good, but Bright stood out the most out of them. But none of them really did a very good job of what I felt like, which was showing things such as ray tracing, draw distance, things of that nature. They were all kind of like still tightly encapsulated areas, fog-covered areas, not a lot of new lighting techniques being used, anything like that. So we're not really seeing a lot of the new power that's coming out of the system yet. And we kind of won't. IGN even went up that we're going to have to lower our expectations as far as the next gen goes, at least early on. And that's not necessarily unfair to say, because every generation when there's a transition, you have new people that are adopting the technology that don't really know how to use it all that well yet. So a lot of the games that come out look like something that probably could have run out in a previous generation. Now, should there be something that comes out that tries to really push the envelope and knock our socks off? Yes. Yes, there should be. However, a lot of the third-party games are not going to be that because they're just going with the bare bones of what they can do to get it to work on the new platforms. And in a lot of those cases, you're probably going to have it work on the old platforms as well. It just won't run at the same frame rate or as smoothly. So that's what you're probably going to be looking at there more often than not. I would have liked to see more things along, like, how fast are the load times on the games? How fast is the quick resume? How good is the actual new controller input scheme that you have for this? How close to 1-to-1 ratio is it? How early will we be able to pre-download games? How many games are going to be able to be transferable from the Xbox One to the Xbox One Series X? That kind of thing. Is that going to be all games? Is that there are going to be some exceptions? Do we know yet? Those kinds of things. And that's the kind of stuff that they didn't cover. However, moving on, we have a new expansion coming out for Mortal Kombat 11 called Mortal Kombat Aftermath. I am super hyped for this, guys. This is going to have 5 to 6 hours of new story added into the game, along with 3 characters, Fujin, Shiva, and Robocop, are all going to be added to the game as part of the expansion. That's not including any other characters that come out that may or may not be part of a combat pack. But 5 to 6 hours plus the 3 new characters is a lot of content and a lot of time put in. Now, I absolutely love this game, and I've played through the story mode on this not 1 but 2 times, at least, because I went through it once on my own and once with a friend. And matter of fact, I'm going through it a 3rd time on my channel, so if you haven't caught it, this is a shameless plug moment where I'm going to plug my gameplay through of MK11's original storyline, and I'm going to continue that through Aftermath when it releases. I'll go through that as well. So the entire storyline will be up on my channel for your viewing pleasure, for you guys to let me know whether or not you like that or not. But if you're going to go ahead and dive into this, if you already have the game, it's going to be $40 for the expansion. That'll include the new content, new skins, fatalities, new stages, new music, all sorts of craziness, including those 3 characters. If you do not own the game at all, you'll be able to get that content plus all the previous combat content and the original game for $60. They did this with the XL version on Mortal Kombat 10, and this looks like this is going to be one of the last big expansion parts that they do for this one as well before they move on to their next cycle of games. So if you haven't jumped in, now is a great time to jump in. It's $60. It's going to be a great price point for all the characters, all the story, and all the content that you get with this one. It's going to be a fantastic deal. I'm super excited to see it come out. Now, the next thing that I found that's coming out that's more of a rumor than anything is that potentially we're going to get a new remaster of Diablo 2 by the end of the year. Now, given how Warcraft 3 got received and how clunky and how bad that was, I'm heavily on the fence. Even though I absolutely love Diablo 2 and I think it's probably one of the best Diablo games ever made, I'm highly on the fence. I hope they pull it out, and I hope it turns out to be something really good, but it's still a rumor and speculation, so we don't know for sure if that's really going to happen. And we probably won't find out for another couple of months, at best, whether or not that's going to become reality or not. The next thing that I found that was coming up is that Steam, due to increased competition in the digital space of game sales, has decided to potentially do a loyalty program. Now, I don't have a whole lot of details on how that's going to work. However, it looks like it's going to have something to do with like purchases and your level and the cards and stuff that you get when you purchase games off of Steam, that you can trade those in. You might be able to do that for like discounts and things like that on other games. I don't know how they're going to handle that. We'll have to kind of wait and see if that even materializes. The last thing that I found out was that the PlayStation Store has been suspended in China. Now, there's no real good data as far as why this has happened, other than the fact that they think there's some security concerns that need to be addressed. So in that case, what they've done is they've gone ahead and taken down the store out of China until they can basically address those and then try to bring the store back up. But there's no word on when the store is going to come back up, or even what security leaks or anything like that that's happened, or even if it really is a security leak. It could be something completely different. We just don't know yet. But as things come up, I will do my best to try to keep you guys informed. As always, this has been your Gaming News Update. I am Nick. Hope you guys stay happy, stay safe, stay in, and take care of each other, and I will see you guys next time.